Hello, welcome to Sunday Live. It's 8 o'clock. Welcome everyone to Sunday Comic Chat with Nick. It is 8 o'clock. Normally I do this at 9 a.m., but I'm home alone. I'm not disturbing anybody next door. My son's bedroom is right next door, so if I talk like this loud, he's a light sleeper. Anthony is a very light sleeper. He will wake up. And normally I let him sleep until 9 o'clock on Sunday at least. And even when I had the chat, often he's still sleeping until, I finish the chat at 10 o'clock. Hello, Scott. Good morning. So today the wife and the son will come home from their Thanksgiving cruise. Hello, Blade Runner. I missed them. They've been gone since last Sunday. They left the house last Sunday at 7:30. My brother-in-law and my wife's twin sister and their two kids and some other friends. There was a whole bunch. It's a big group that went on the cruise. They drove from Tampa down here to pick up my wife and son, and then drove 3 hours plus to Miami to get on the cruise. So today, right now, for those that are familiar with cruise, usually they get back to home base in the morning. So I'm pretty sure they're back home now in Miami at the port. They're probably up and getting ready to eat breakfast, the last meal on the boat. Scott asks if I have a chance to go on the cruise yourself. I don't like to go on cruises. That is why my wife did not book. She asked me, and I said no. I said, given a choice of stay home alone or go on the cruise with her and that big group of people, I'd rather stay home alone. I miss my son and my wife, but I don't want to spend six days and 6 nights with that big group. And it's better for them to go without me, because then I would just probably be grumpy and ruin it for everybody. I did spoke to my wife a couple of times on the phone. And she did tell me that my son, halfway through the cruise, like after 4 days, he said that this is his last cruise. He doesn't want to go anymore. He was never a big fan, but it's more fun for him because when he go with other kids, there are two other boys that are 1 year older than him. So at least they can do things together. There's rock climbing activities. There are a bunch of swimming pools and all kind of stuff. But still, after 4 days, she told me that he said that, please, Mom, don't make me go on another cruise. I have enough. Anthony has been on just as many cruises as I have been on. So my wife already booked a cruise for her and her twin sister, on their birthday next May. They going, just the two of them. We both are not invited, and we both gladly say good riddance. I always hope for a little time away from the family. As soon as they are gone, I miss them. That's good. As Gold just wrote that, and I agree. I think no doubt, this is the longest that I have been away from my family. Before that, it was 4 days. And I miss them. I miss Anthony. I think Anthony, someday when Anthony is older, he will realize how lucky he is to have a father that is always around. Right now, it may seem like a nuisance. Well, I don't think he see it that way. but he's just spoiled, unlike many other kids that don't see their parents for most of the day. Since Anthony was a baby, I'm home taking care of him all summer long. I'm always around. So he see me like nonstop compared to many of his friends. So someday he will appreciate that daddy was around all the time to do whatever he wants to do. He's spoiled. It's Sunday. For those that are not aware of the community tag that Kyle Rowe started, I think 2 days ago, I saw his video yesterday. And shortly after I saw his video like around lunchtime, I think. And then last night I was bored, so I sit down and made a quick 2-minute video. Scott, yes. Scott said, I usually can only go about 1 to 2 days away from my son at a time. It gets tough. Yeah, it's a good bonding. I mean, Anthony, the older he is, we'll see how he is, once puberty hit in a year or two, and see if he still want to hang out with dad all the time and do things with dad. But for now, he's 11. He will be 12 in April. But for now, he is having fun. Oh, before I go on, for those that subscribe to my podcast channel, the link is below. Let me know how that worked, okay? If you notice on my channel, every time I load a podcast, it automatically kick out a video on YouTube, which I think is dumb. Like, what is the point? The podcast is a recording, the audio recording of the Sunday chat like this, or the Wednesday night chat. That's what the podcast is. It's the audio recording of the chat. So if I load that, if I load that audio into a podcast and you subscribe to it, you can listen to it on a download, like a radio. Hello, who dat? Does a podcast work with Android phone? Who dat asked? It should, but test it out. The link is below. Okay, the link is below. For those that can help me out, download the podcast, subscribe to my channel. Okay, you can unsubscribe it if you want to later, but subscribe to it, download, and then see. I'm recording this podcast right now, and I will load it this afternoon when I have a chance. And let me know if you get a notification via the podcast channel, so that what I will do in the future is, when I load the podcast, I will go on YouTube right after and delete the video that they automatically kick out, because it's silly. It's silly to have the live broadcast and then another podcast video load on YouTube. That's not my choice. That's what Podbean is, the host that I pay. I pay an annual subscription. I think it's like $100 a year in order to load unlimited amount of podcasts. So it costs about $8, I believe, a month to do that. So it's not free. I do it for the peep. Blade Runner 404 asks, is Anthony into collecting? He goes into phases here and there. He was pretty big in for a while. He was big on Pokemon card. Like, he would buy a pack here and there for his birthday. People would give him a couple packs here and there. So he was doing that for a while. People give him baseball cards, football cards. He collects some of that, but he's not. I would say that for the most part, he's not into collecting. He does find my hobby curious. He enjoyed it. Anthony kind of enjoys seeing what I have around. He enjoys superheroes. He enjoyed the cartoon. He enjoyed the movies. I'm not sure what his favorite character is now that I think about it. It might be Iron Man because he has a bunch of action figures. He has a bunch of Lego superhero, Marvel, and Batman. Lego sets. He has a bunch of DC as well as Marvel set. He has a bunch of those. When he was 4 and 5 and 6, those 3 years when he started to be old enough to put Legos together, to read instruction and all that stuff, it was a big thing. There was a father and son kind of thing to do whenever, I wouldn't say we buy them like every set, but we did buy probably maybe 4 or 5 sets a year for those 3 years. And then he outgrew them. He outgrew them into playing video games. And then we bought those PS3 Lego games, which he played all of those, the Marvel, the DC, he played those. So he go through phases like most kids, they get bored pretty quickly. Yes, who dad, thank you. Go ahead, subscribe to my podcast channel and download the podcast and then let me know. Is he more of a Star Wars fan than superhero? Scott asked. Good question. Maybe one of these days I can have him sit down and answer questions. Maybe next month during Christmas break, he's home for 2 weeks. Maybe we do a father and son kind of podcast like this on a Sunday. Next month I will do a 6-year anniversary podcast on YouTube, since December is a annual anniversary of me being on YouTube. So maybe for that I will have him sit down and we can have a chat with him and see he can answer some of the questions, because I'm not sure. Carmike 1, welcome to the chat. He asked, maybe off topic. Pretty sure it's off topic. I'm pretty sure many of the people, well, Blade Runner probably can answer that question since his name is Blade Runner. But Descartes is a replicant. Nonsense continue. Clearly he's human. What do you think, Nick? Well, I have mentioned this in many chats, but personally, I don't care what Ridley Scott say or claim over the many decades. I say that he is a human, because replicants, they may, well, at least from what I understand long ago, okay, when I first watched the first Blade Runner, replicant are created in that their body, they eventually expire or die, but they don't age. Okay, so this whole nonsense that if Harrison Ford looked 30 years younger, yeah, he's a replicant with special ability to not die like other replicants. But the whole idea that he's a replicant and people keep kicking around, I don't buy it. Okay, I trust me, I have debated this for decades with other fans. And I don't care what the books say. I don't care what the cutscenes, eliminated scenes said. He aged. He aged in the new movie. End of discussion. So, but I learned that it's very hard to debate with people that already set in their mind what they believe. They're going to they're not going to change their mind regardless of what kind of discussion or debate you want to bring up. Oh, but Sean Young character, she's a replicant and she was able to get pregnant. Oh, spoiler. So I don't know. Blade Runner said that per Ridley Scott, Deckard is human. See, now that I was surprised to see, because I was told many times by some of my friends that it's the opposite. That Ridley Scott say he is a replicant. So there you go. See, that's a kind of crazy. Regardless, I believe he's human because he aged and he was able to impregnate Sean Young. I don't think replicants are built with the little guy swimming. It's nonsense. Nonsense. Okay, so everybody, this is why, since I used to debate and discuss and argue about this until the sequel came out. And once the sequel came out, I said the end of discussion. The end. I don't want to hear anymore or talk anymore about that. Or I can talk about it like I am right now, but I refuse to debate with people that think otherwise, because it makes no sense. Not anymore. We are winding down to the end of the year. I shot 2 videos last night, which I will load between now, sometime in December. Okay, most likely in December. But one video is going to be recap of my favorite buys of the year. So look out for that. Another video is my wish list for 2019. Okay, so that's the 2 videos I sat down and shot last night. So hopefully other people in the community will do the same thing, because it will be interesting to see what people favorite purchase of the year were, right? A lot of people bought a lot of stuff. What are keepers, right? So I put together a bunch of books, bunch of things that I consider keepers. I rarely want to do a haul videos that include a lot of stuff that I don't intend to keep, because it's kind of like it's pointless for me. Okay, it's pointless. For example, that Novel one that I bought, that I show in my Cairo cheap comic key tag last night. I bought that 2 months ago, but my intention was to flip it, so I didn't feel a need to include it in any haul videos. Especially I did a haul video last month. But many of the books that I bought for a quick flip, I kind of like, no need to include it in the video. But because there was a tag video talking about cheap keys purchase, I figure why not take it out and show it. But but that's it. As far as the plan for next year, I'm still, the closer I am to the end of the year, the closer I am to having ideas of the kind of videos I plan to make next year, as I stop doing the got to have. I discussed a couple weeks ago that I might have a video where, say, go shopping with Nick. The only problem with that series, the more I think about it, is very often when I surf for things on eBay, it is first thing in the morning, like when I first wake up, first sit down. I usually get up at 7 o'clock, and Anthony get up at 8 o'clock to go to school. So I have like an hour of peace and quiet and having coffee. And that's when I do my eBay surfing. So I'm not sure I want to do more a live stream eBay surfing at 7 in the morning. Who's gonna watch that, right? So I'm not sure how that's going to work, if anything ever will happen with that idea. Because sure, do I check eBay at other time? Absolutely. But it's very random, especially these days where I don't buy a lot. I almost like try not to go on eBay because it's easy for me to buy something when I'm on eBay. I always see deals. But I bought so much last year, on contrary to my um, plan of not buying so much, that I want. I purposely want to stay away from eBay as much as possible. So the idea of go shopping with me on eBay, that's not a good idea for someone that want to avoid buying. Nick, what do you think is an underrated book with good potential? These days, almost nothing. Let me think. These days, people are hyping up everything under the sun, that it's hard to pick things that are underrated or undervalued, to be honest. Sure, I find things that are undervalued because seller mispriced them. But I'm sure if other people saw that listing that I got that Nova one for $17, shipping included, they would buy it. So I don't need to say, oh, Nova one is underrated, or so. Yeah, it's especially now that the Disney and Fox deal is going to close probably by spring. Okay, this is my expectation. I predict that the Disney and Fox thing will close in the spring of 2019. And by Comic-Con of 2019, we will see huge announcement from Marvel of all the new things, like Phase 5, Phase 4. I don't know what phase. It doesn't matter. But I think you're going to have a big, prior to Comic-Con, Disney have their own special event. I think in April or maybe May, something like that. It's a month or two before Comic-Con. But I do believe that you're going to see some kind of big announcement from Marvel and Disney before Comic-Con, or at the latest Comic-Con of 2019, on a slate of like 5 new movies for the next 5 years. And in that slate, I'm sure you'll see the Fantastic Four, maybe the X-Men, so we'll see. We will see. But that's my expectation. But because of that expectation, and because the market has already anticipated many of these announcements, all the Fantastic Four books are cheap. The only one that are all the Fantastic Four books are not cheap. Why did I say cheap? Not cheap. With the exception of the Inhuman stuff, the Inhuman books has still not recovered from the disaster TV show. Don't worry, they will make a return. Okay, they will make a return. Now that the Fantastic Four is back in the fold, do I see a potential of how the Inhuman will be on the big screen instead of the small screen? Absolutely. So if I have to pick underrated books, undervalued books, I would say that the Inhuman stuff, because I think a lot of people get burned with the Inhuman stuff and they hate it now. Okay, literally hate it now. If there's a bunch of Fantastic Four books that actually went down instead of up in the last 3 months, it is the Inhuman stuff. Kamite One says, sometime I envy those that don't collect. I agree. You know, some of the best time for me is not collecting. You know, I enjoy the hobby. One of the reason I structure my channel in this manner for the past 6 years. There's literally 5 videos a day on the average for the past 6 years. And I can tell you there are likely less than 20 haul videos in 1,500 plus videos. Because it's not about buying, you know, the hobby is fun. You can enjoy the hobby without buying. I did not buy anything this past week, you know. There's nothing wrong with not having to buy something. People keep, it's not a hobby in many ways to a lot of people. I'm sure some people will not like what I say. It's an addiction. Okay, it's another addiction. You could be addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, addicted to cigarettes, and some people are just addicted to buying. Okay, women get the bad rap of being addicted to shopping for shoes or purses or whatever that they like to buy, knickknacks. Guess what? Guys are addicted to hoarding stuff. They like to call it, you know, hobby. But baseball card, football card, everything, it's stuff. Scott, I do not think Hugh Jackman will come back in any form or shape as Logan. Do not see it. Do not see it whatsoever. If Marvel and DC, if Marvel and Disney going to reboot the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, they will do what they did with what they started with, you know, many other characters. Get them young, okay, or as young as possible, because they can be in so many movies for the next 10 years. Okay, the X-Men that they're going to launch a year or 2 from now, the new X-Men, is going to be on a big screen for a decade plus, potentially in 6 to 10 movies as far as crossover and all of that. No, Hugh Jackman is not going to play old man Logan in any way in his 60s or 70s. So no, I don't see that. If I had to bet, I will bet against seeing Hugh Jackman. I'm a huge Hugh Jackman fan, so I love his work. I'm one of the few people that, well, one of many that enjoy Hugh Jackman, on contrary to many people that hated Hugh Jackman. He's too tall, he's too handsome, he's too this, he's too that. Good God. Good God. Need we go there with all the debate and argument about how Wolverine is not what it is in comic books? Yes, iconic point. No ETA shirt today. No, that was what I wore last night. I woke up, put on a different shirt. Yeah, that shirt was for those that watch my video. I have a shirt that says ETA Associate. That's my business name. It's a gift from my wife long ago when she first married me. She's just like, oh, the way you talk to your client, I'm gonna get you a T-shirt that kind of symbolize the way you describe your business. You're always right. That's how I communicate with my clients. I'm always right. You hire me as an expert, I'm always right. Okay, trust me. Put your trust in me. Scott say, Would there be a sales? Did I miss that? I thought I saw it, but yeah, he asked if there's going to be a sales video sometime in maybe late December. I haven't thought about it, to be honest. I sent 3 big boxes of slabs to Comic Link and my comic shop. I sent 3 big boxes, huge order of books to consign to Comic Link and my comic shop. Will I have sales on YouTube next year? The answer is yes. When? I don't know. And what kind of stuff I will sell? The cheap stuff. Okay. The reason why I sent those big slabs boxes to Comic Link and my comic shop is it's easier for me to let other people sell them, pay them commission, whatever, consignment fee. I'm okay with that. I'm not, some people prefer not to pay that, and then they spend a lot of time on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram selling stuff. And to be honest, hell no for me, okay? I have zero desire to sit on YouTube and beg people to buy my stuff. F no. So, sure, some guy like that. There are guys on YouTube that actually enjoy running auction, and that's great. Hey, if you enjoy doing something, keep doing it. If you don't enjoy doing something, why the F are you doing it, right? That's how I look at things. If I don't enjoy sitting here doing auction, why would I do it? It's that simple. Life is too short. I don't do shit I don't like. Hello, Collector 96. Kamite said the thing is guys worrying about what character will jump off is too stressful. Just acquire the first appearances and origin issues within monetary reason and wait all cyclical. In many ways, that is sound advice. If you see something for cheap, pick them up. Okay. If you see, that's the thing that have annoyed me the most with many collectors for a long, long time. I have seen many people pass over many things because they have no idea what something is worth. It annoys me. It annoys me to no end to see that, because these same people are the one that need to watch other videos on YouTube to be told what to buy. Do you need to watch other videos to know what to buy? At what point do you just know? I mean, if you're young collectors, okay, that is a big assumption on my part to like, everybody on YouTube watching YouTube videos have been in this hobby for 20 years. No, that's not true. It's what I just said apply to people that has been in this hobby for 20 years. If you're in this hobby for 20 years, you should know what something is, when something is cheap. If you're in this hobby for 20 years, you should see if somebody's selling something the cheap, pick it up. Doesn't matter if you're not collecting that. I have seen guys like, oh, I saw that book, it was cheap, but I don't collect that character, so I didn't buy it. Huh? What? What the hell is that? Is this? Okay, the same people that would say, oh, I passed over that bargains because I didn't collect that titles or that character. will be the same one to watch a video of what to buy, what to speculate, and say, "Oh, good idea! I will go buy that book." Now you decide that's a good idea. Does that make any sense? Any sense? Holy shites! Holy shites! It's just like, no. If you are a young collector or a new collector, I can understand. But you can be on YouTube for a year and be smacked in the face with so much information on what to buy that you should know by now, right? The question is, do you know value? You know what book is worth. You know what books are keys. By this point, I think a lot of people know many books, which one are keys and semi-keys and first appearances. The question is, do you know value? Do you know when something is cheap to pick it up? Okay. Everybody know Nova 1 is a key. How many people would know that at $17 is dirt cheap and buy it fast? Right? It's I'm sure many people does. That's a easy layup for most people, right? But the key is knowing value. It's not about what keys to buy, but everybody know what keys to buy. What's hard to find are the cheap one, because the people that know value will pick up the cheap stuff when you are hum and ha over what keys to buy. No, if you know the value, you can pick them up. The Wolverine collector. Hello. Wolverine collector just picked up Spectacular Spider-Man 27, a great issue. For those that are not familiar, that is Frank Miller's first drawn Daredevil. Wonderful book. I mean, if you've seen the artwork of Frank Miller in Spectacular Spider-Man 27 and 28, it is so different from the artwork of Frank Miller that you see later. So different. Forget about later, like now. Even in the Daredevil run, within like the first 6 months of his Daredevil run, his art style start to change, and you can see how it transformed. He transformed a lot. If you look at the history of Frank Miller, Frank Miller and Bill Sienkiewicz are two artists that transform the most over like 5 years span. Okay, 5 years span. From 5 years, in 5 years, they went through multiple phases of changes. If you look at Bill Sienkiewicz, same thing. Frank Miller, the same thing. From his early Daredevil, by the time he hit Ronin. By the time he hit Ronin, it's already changed. And by Dark Knight, it changed again. Sin City changed again. I mean, it's just remarkable. Bill Sienkiewicz changed a lot in like the 5 or 6 year span, but then he's kind of stopped. I mean, if you're familiar with Bill Sienkiewicz's style, in the mid 80s to the late 80s with the New Mutants run, it basically hasn't changed that much. Has not changed that much since then. It get better, more stylish, but the style, the essence of his style pretty much stayed the same since the late 80s. Meanwhile, Frank Miller, if you look at his work from Dark Knight, huge jump to Sin City a few years later in the 90s. And then from the Sin City to 300, it also changed. And then, like I said, it went through many big, wild swing of changes. Amazing Muffinator, morning. Good luck to your Patriots. My nephew and all my siblings in Boston are super nervous about this game. They should win, but good luck. Good luck to my Steelers this afternoon. Tough game against Denver. Tough game, okay? I worry about this game more than the one next week just because it's on the road to Denver. You know, Pittsburgh on the road, scary. Shockingly, they are 14-1-1 in the last 16 road game. That's a shocking statistic to any Steeler fan. You know, for Steelers fan out there, you have heard and know about the Steelers on the road. Ben is never that good on the road. Often he's god awful. But the records say otherwise, right? You heard about this for years and years and years. Oh, the Steelers are awful on the road. Yeah, but over the past 16 games, which is a lot, a season and a half, they are 14-1-1. Road Warriors, yeah. Walt Simonson, oh my God. Yes, come on. Walt Simonson run with Manhunter is still my favorite Walt Simonson run. His store run is pretty sweet. But if I had to rank my favorite Walt Simonson run, it is with Batman and Manhunter. I have showcased and spotlight those issues on my channel. Awesome, simply awesome. Okay, simply, you know, Walt Simonson hit a grand slam on his first swing. I mean, you know, for most people, they kind of grow into the work like Barry Windsor Smith. Okay, Barry Windsor Smith's style was very crude in the beginning. For those that have X-Men 53, 54, and many of his Avengers, early Avengers, was it 100, 101, 102? If you have those 5 or 6 issues where Barry Windsor Smith first get his feet wet, woo, not very good. Okay, not very good. Even he would say that. But Walt Simonson, whew, amazing. I mean, for him to get the first job and to come out with those few issues of Batman with in Detective with Manhunter, wow, it's amazed me. Okay, simply amazing. Hello, Brian Spaceboy. Speaking of artwork that was not very good, one of the things that I read recently in somebody else's video, and I have read this on my channel before too. Whenever someone wrote or talked something negative about an artist, occasionally, not often, but I read this recently on someone else's channel. Don't criticize if you can't do. Someone was bagging on, I'm sure you can guess it, Rob Liefeld. And a Rob Liefeld fan jump in there and say, don't criticize his work. Don't you dare, because if you can't do it, don't criticize. Woo! Are you serious? This is a thing about the internet. Okay, this is a thing about the internet. Sometimes when you read something like that, you don't know the person that wrote it is 10 years old, 12 years old, or 30 years old. So trust me, it is the biggest problem with the internet. You don't really know, because if I'm sitting here with a 11-year-old like my son and his friend, and they say something that dumb, Yes, I said it dumb. I wouldn't care. They're too young to understand. But if they are a grown man or woman, somebody in their 20s and 30s that say something that stupid, they're going to get a smackdown from me. Because if you think that it's not okay to criticize or to critique somebody because you don't have the skills to do it, then you better keep your mouth shut. Shut. When you watch a movie, a TV show, a sport game, anything, keep your mouth shut in everything. Because I guess what? You can't act, right? So you can't say that that actor's bad, this movie is good, this movie is bad. You can't say anything. You can't watch a football game and say, oh, that guy sucks, that guy's good. No, guess what? You can't throw anything. You're not a professional. No, you zip it. You see how stupid those kind of comments are? If you can't do, don't criticize. Are you 10? You better be, because that's excusable if you're 10. Otherwise, shut the F up, stupid mofo. God, I hate when I see that. Don't criticize. You can't do it, so don't. Stupid ass. Got me all riled up on that one. Yeah, so that's one of my biggest pet peeve on the internet or social media in general is that you are interacting with people with little understanding of the scope of their knowledge or age, and I try my best not to. I try my best. Like, for example, I made a video last month about the Daredevil TV show, and I said I didn't care for episode 1 or 2. I mean, I gave it a very blah blah review, right? And one of the very first comments was, "You are not a true comic book fan." And as always, if someone leave me a comment like that, my first reaction is don't reply, don't engage. Okay, because I learned that snapback reaction is dumb. Because just as I mentioned, you don't know how old the other persons are. And even if you do, I try not to engage in nonsense. It's pointless. It's negative energy I don't need. So sure enough, when I saw the comment, "You are not a true comic fan," I click on the channel of the person I make the reply. And sure enough, it's a 12-year-old-ish boy with a bunch of stupid video of him doing stupid things on his channels. And I'm just like, yeah. Do I need to engage in any kind of discussion with this person? He's a person, but at his mental mindset level, it's sapping energy from my brain to trying to reason with anything with that kind of age gap. Okay, that's the best I can say. I'm sure some people will find what I said offending. Oh, how can you talk down to a 12-year-old? Please, don't be so damn PC about it. Okay, 12 years old are 12 years old. Let's not compare intelligence, cognitive level with a 52-year-old man. Right or wrong, not to say that everything I say is right. Okay, there's a lot of stupid stuff that come out of this mouth at 52 years old. I would check out that tune, Anthony Lowney. Good as gold, say Nick rants are gold. Thank you. What else? I was going to say something before I forgot. Oh yeah. When I posted that video last night about that Nova one, sure enough, someone jump in and said, I wouldn't pay $17 for that book in any condition, blah, blah, blah. That book sucks. That character sucks. This is really, really. F off. Block, mute, screw you. Okay? I don't have time for that nonsense. It's just like, really? You have that much energy to write a long paragraph telling me that that book is, guess what? I don't care. I care enough to block your sorry ass. You know, it's just nonsense. Okay, this is people that just like, if you have not the internet, and I have said this many, many times, have removed the filter, the social filter that most of us learn for many decades. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. Really? Do you need to write something negative to somebody to a stranger that you don't know, on something that it's none of your business? Who cares? The point is not about you like the book, you like the character, you hate Nova, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. People miss the point. Miss the point. What was the point? The point is cheap key purchase. Go back to my point earlier in this chat. Knowing value. I don't care if I like or hate Squirrel Girls. I don't care. But I know the book. If I see Squirrel Girl first appearances in a box for $1, I'm buying it. Okay? So that's the difference between me and many people that hate on me. Oh, he hates this. He's a bragger. He show off everything. Maybe if you buy some stuff for cheap, you can afford nicer stuff. Yes, Anthony, I agree. Manners are gone. And one of the things that I am very strict with my son and the internet and YouTube and social media is, I told him, unless it is a private message to a friend directly, I do not ever want to see a negative comment from you on any videos that you watch. Okay? If you don't like something, move the F along. Do not sit there and give your 2 cents comment, critique somebody because you don't like what they say or don't like what they do or don't like what they talk about. Move along. Life's too short to sit there and listen to something you hate or don't like or don't agree with and then engage in debates. Okay? Nonsense. So yeah, Anthony at his age, he had heard me give him that speech many, many times because I told him on how I deal with people that try to engage me in that manner. I just mute them and block them. Who cares? Okay, I don't need to see your crap because even if I don't, okay, even let's say I leave the comments alone and don't even reply to it. Somebody else that will read the comment and may engage this individual. And then the cycle started, okay? Because that's what people want. People that wrote these negative comments, they do it for one thing, reactions. And the best thing that you can do for them is nothing irked them more, trust me, than zip them up. Do not give them a chance to get the satisfaction of engagement. Anthony said it's even difficult to resist at times. I agree, Anthony. I have been there. Trust me, I have been there. But I have been on YouTube now, making videos and dealing with people on a daily basis for 6 years, and I learned that the best way, the absolute best way, is mute, block. Sure, they can still watch the videos. They can still thumbs down the video if they want to. I don't care. you have no voice in my channel, period. I don't see your comments. And some people, the guy that posted a negative comment last night is, I'm pretty certain, the same haters that have been blocked many times on my channel. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the same haters that have came and got blocked many times because he's always like that. That guy has always came in with negative stuff. Always, for the past 5 years. I think this is his third or fourth screen name. So if I'm wrong, doesn't matter. He's blocked. Scott Fall, do you think or consider Gil Kane to be signed slot of autograph? I don't see many online or nowhere close to Stan Lee. Gil Kane passed away in the 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was 1993. But those are more up to date on Gil Kane. But I think Gil Kane signed a bunch of stuff. I have a couple of Gil Kane signed books, which I cherish. One of them, my favorite one, is Iron Fist #1. I have Gil Kane signature in there, as well as Dick I can never say his name. Dick Giordano. God, that name is a tongue tie every time I was trying to say it. Good as gold asks, is there an eBay etiquette? When it says best offer, what's the lowest you will offer? It's all depend on price and value. Good as gold. To me, there's no etiquette. Okay. For example, a person, if a book, let's say a book value is 500. Okay. Let's say a GPA average 90 days is 500. A person can list that book for $1,000. I would still offer $450. I don't think that's offensive. 10% below GPA. So it's not about what percentage below asking price. It's about percentage within reason of GPA value for slab books. To me, within 10% of GPA is reasonable. Okay. When I'm a seller on eBay and if somebody, and I list my book usually 10% or so above GPA. Okay. I'm one of those sellers that don't list books 20%, 50% above GPA. I don't, I mean, I sold probably 20 or so slabs on eBay this year. And with the exception of only one remains. The other 19 sold pretty quickly because I list them at reasonable price within 10% above GPA. So if someone offers 10% below my asking price, it's gone. I get annoyed if someone offer me 50% below asking price. To me, that's when it becomes stupid. It's just like, no. It's just, for example, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1. I have a 9.8 copy of that book with white page, blah, 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 right? And my asking price was $650, which is, for those that know the value of Teenage Mutant Ninja #1, third print, 9.8. That's about where the prices is, within 5% or so of the GPA. I asked $650, a person come in, hey bro, how about $325? Really? Really? That's when it's offensive. Hey bro, nothing. F off. Gil Kane passed away in 2000. Thank you. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was 1993. I don't know why, but 2000 it is. Carmike once said, mankind is moving into Blade Runner country. Populous indifference, crazy burnout, more off-world. Save yourself, Nick. Yes, save myself. I agree. The social media is the bane of human race. It is. It is. Comic Book Brother asks, is it the first print? No, it's third print, my friend. That's why it's only $6.50. And still, like I said, it's. But so hopefully I answer your question. As far as eBay etiquette, it's not about what percentage below asking price. It's about percentage below fair market value. And the same thing apply with raw books. Okay, if I am bidding or offering on a raw book, I will do my best to do some research on the recent sales on eBay to see what something equivalent so far, and then make an offer something in the same vicinity. Okay, I don't care what Overstreet guides say. If a similar raw copy sold for this much, I will make an offer of that much. Okay, that's it. That's how I approach it. I don't. To me, that's reasonable. I don't get offended if someone do the same thing with me. Like I said, I only get offended when somebody is offering 30% or more below fair market value, because it's just a waste of time. We don't see many Marvel Comics #1 anymore. Why do you think, Nick? You mean like that Grail Golden Age? If you're talking about that Grail Golden Age Marvel Comics #1, it's a fairly rare book. And I suspect that it's in the hand of like long-time collectors, because that book has been declining in popularity and value. That book used to be the #1 spot, right? It used to hold the #1 spot for decades, but it has slipped below Action 1, Detective 27, right? It keep on sliding below, and a lot of people will say, oh, now is the time to buy that book because it has gotten out of favor with a lot of collectors. So price is declining. That's why you don't see it. When price go up, people tend to want to cash out. See, that's a phenomenon that we see, which I made a video long ago, but I have never load. I need to find it if I can still find it on my hard drive. Oh well, I lost it on my hard drive. That's why now that I think about it, that's why I didn't load it. But I talk about the phenomenon of when a book is hot and it's go up a lot, you see a lot of listing because people keep flipping out of it. But when a book is declining, you see less of it because people hold on to it. Okay, they don't want to sell it at a loss or selling on a falling price trend. That's why you don't see that book in many auctions. It's a rare book. Make no mistake, it's not a book that you see often. But compared to Batman 1, Superman 1, All-Star 8, Action 1, Tech 27, Wonder Woman #1, compared to many of the top 10 mostly prized Golden Age books, Marvel Comics #1 make the less appearances in the last many years as I can remember. Once a year, if we're lucky, we see it once a year. And I think it is because of the falling demand. Falling demand equal not good prices. Not good prices equal people don't want to let go on the cheap. Okay, that's the phenomenon that we see in the market. When something is hot and prices are going up, it's always people flipping out and chasing up. So you see, like Hulk 181, there's never a short supply of that. Just like Amazing Fantasy 15. Okay, if prices decline, you see a whole lot less people selling. If that makes any sense. I just saw the time. It's 9:05. So I'm gonna check all the questions and then end the chat because it's over 1 hour. Oh, look like it's clean. Nothing more that I need to answer. Quick reminder before I go is do me a favor for those that want to help me out. Is on my link below on this chat is a link to my podcast channel. Subscribe to it and let me know later today or tomorrow when I load this video, because I will convert this video into audio format to load into my podcast channel. Let me know if you get a notification, okay, on the live podcast. And then what I would do is delete the podcast video on YouTube because it's kind of redundant to see the live chat and the podcast. Let me see. Oh, Dr. Von Schiller, you're late. We were talking Gil Kane very briefly about when he passed away. I thought it was in the early 90s, but he passed away in year 2000. Brian Spaceboy asked, Nick, have you had a chance to watch the Titans yet? No, I have not. I have not subscribed to Warner streaming. Is that what they call it? Yet. I'm waiting to see more contents there before I do that. I'm waiting to resubscribe to CBS All Access next month when they launch the new Star Trek season. Okay, I subscribed for 3 months or so last year or earlier this year to watch Star Trek Discovery, the first season. I subscribe, pay my $5 to watch all the episodes, and then after they finish, I unsubscribe because there is nothing there I need to watch that I can't watch on my regular TV. But when the next season kicked off, I will resubscribe and give them my $5 per month to support the show. I enjoy the show. I enjoy Star Trek Discovery. I'm just happy that enough people enjoy the show for it to make it to season 2. But that's it, folks. That's the end of this chat. It's 9:08. 1 hour went by super quick. And with that, have a good Sunday. I need to clean up the house because the wife and son is coming home. My guess is they probably will come home between 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I need to do some major cleanup because for the past week, I have not do any cleaning. Complete mess. The only place that's clean is the kitchen. Anyhow, have a good Sunday. Enjoy your football. Bye-bye.